and welcome to Talking TSM, the Game House's talk show about TSM's LCS team. I'm Robert Haynes, your host and your guide into the world of TSM's LCS team. And we are coming to you live. Well, not really live. I will probably do that at some point. I don't know exactly when, but it's going to happen. I promise. One day, I will go live. It's just easier right now to record, to be honest. But that is okie dokie. So, we have to discuss, well, a lot of different things that have been going on. Namely, the fact that we do have an interview with Spica from the great Michael Termini over on the Game House's channel, the same place where you were probably watching this, or if you're listening to it, go to the YouTube channel. Not a whole lot gained there. You know, he talks about, not to spoil anything too much, he talks a little bit about his thoughts on the different TSM iterations, you know, what they have to do to make playoffs, how it's like playing with solo, and he talks about, the two younger guys and what that is like as well. And he also discusses Ratio. Yes. The former Ratio King himself discusses Falcon being the new Ratio King and what that means to him. So make sure you go and you listen to that interview. It was really well done. There's a chance that there was another interview that's coming out maybe today or tomorrow. I haven't gotten official confirmation of that yet. With that, there are the rumors right now that TSM are going to be doing their best to make a super uber competitive team, apparently, according to Kobe. He said it on stream, I guess, just in passing. Something about, let me make sure I get this correct here. Santorin being pushed out for Spica. I think a lot of us feel like this is probably the way TL are going, which is going to make a lot of TSM fans, including myself to a certain degree, pretty unhappy. But he also is apparently saying that TSM won't go budget again and will make a better effort this off season. And I'm going to tease you guys. I want to know in the comments section below, what does that mean to you? Does that mean that everybody on this roster is gone? Or does that mean that they're going to use some of these pieces and go get other bigger pieces to pair with them? There are a lot of players, especially over in the LEC, that are going to be available this offseason. There is one in particular that I will talk about here a little bit later. So I want to know in the comment section below, what does that mean to you? Now, I'm teasing you, which I'm going to start doing a little more, because one of the things that I'm seeing are that a lot of people who watch this show and many of the other shows, they're not subscribed. So make sure, first off, that you subscribe. Secondly, I'm going to tease a little bit because, I want to talk about the games themselves as well, and then, go into my thoughts on some of the other stuff. So we'll see how long I stick with this. It may even just be this episode, but testing out new things, because I can promise you this much. After the off-season stuff is done, once we probably head into next year or even December-ish, this show will be changed. It will be changed, not in a bad way, hopefully, but I'm going to be making some changes to this show. I also would appreciate any comments or suggestions on things that you would like to be changed for this show. I'm hopefully going to be doing an overhaul in a couple different ways. But I want to know what you guys want to stay, what you guys potentially want to go. Your feedback is how I can do this, because I want to grow this show. I want to grow the Talking TSM fan base, because I know there are people out there who are doing it, and I want to be able to start putting this on Reddit and other things. So the more you guys support this and the more you guys let me know what you like and don't like, the better I can make the show. And also, again, thank you so much for those of you who care enough to watch and listen to this twice a week, weekly. It does mean a lot to me, and it is something that I do want to get back to the numbers that I was having, a few hundred, up to 1,000 people watching weekly. While the show has, I think, diminished a little bit, I'm still really happy with the core fan base, and you guys have meant a lot to me, and I do it because of you. I could go bitch and moan on some other show if I wanted to. But, even with TSM being terrible, you guys who have listened and who have commented and who have become a part of the Talking TSM Discord in particular are the main reason that I continue doing this. I really enjoy putting things out there and hearing what you guys have to say about them. So, just know that I have a lot of love for you guys, and it means a lot, and I'm going to continue to try to, grow this show and make it better and better. So, all right. 5 minutes of self-gratifying, I guess, at this point. I'm going to move on to the games this weekend. We go into Saturday's game against Evil Geniuses. Now, I would like to remind you, Evil Geniuses are 11-2. They are 7 games up on us. They have only lost to 100 Thieves in a kind of random-ish game to CLG. Now, I do get that they almost lost against wasn't FlyQuest. It was Immortals, I believe, last Saturday. Yep, Immortals. So they are beatable. I believe the strategy is you attack them a little bit early. You try to shut down, what's his name? You tried to shut down JoJo. Can't believe that. I forgot that. And you try to minimize the impact of Inspired. Problem is that no matter what you attack on this team, they have a counter, right? Like, you can shut down Impact. We saw that with Immortals. They tried to get revenge ahead. They really kind of minimized the impact of Inspired and JoJo Pune early, and it didn't matter. This team found a way to come back. Inspired just basically solo carried, which is, again, not a huge surprise to me. I think Inspired should win MVP. If I had to cast the ballot today, I would say that he is my front runner for MVP. There are some others. I'll probably be writing a piece either today or tomorrow about my MVP front runners and my All-Pro front runners with 2 weeks left to go. We'll have to see. I think that there are some good discussions to have around that sort of thing. But this Evil Geniuses game, guys, is going to be. It's going to be tough. I mean, there's a world where we can win. Solo has played against Impact multiple times in his career. He's, understands probably how to lane against him. That's fine. Spica and Inspired, I think, are similar junglers, but I think Inspired is a little bit more restrained where necessary, whereas Spica may take a little bit more risks. That can be great, obviously, right? And that's fine. I think the bot lane, it's going to be tough. Danny and Vulcan, I think, are going to absolutely abuse Instinct and Chime. And I haven't liked what I've been seeing out of Maple lately. I believe JoJo Pune is much better than our boy Maple right now. And if I'm Evil Geniuses, which I'm gonna, I guess, kind of look at it from their perspective, I think 2 or 3 possible strategies here. One is that they can just scale and they'll win no matter what. I doubt they're going to go that route with us, to be honest with you. I think they're going to probably limit test a little bit against us, which means that we might get a weird pick that we could maybe take advantage of, because we are on 12-14, I believe, this week. I want to say that's correct. Then I also believe that they could just attack solo and really get Impact ahead. That one wouldn't really surprise me. I would believe that would be the one that I would do if I were them, because I think JoJo is going to win regardless in lane. I think the bot lane is especially going to win pretty much regardless in lane. If I was Inspired, the one area of the map where we seemed to focus a lot last week was solo. For some reason, I don't really totally get that, but it worked for at least game 2, of last week against Golden Guardians. But I think that if I'm Evil Geniuses, this second strategy is you play through the top lane, you minimize Solo's impact, and you kind of take advantage of the fact that your mid lane and your bot lane are stronger than TSM. The third way I could see it is they just try to absolutely blast and get Danny ahead super early and stack dragons, because Game times have been moved up. For those of you who don't know, like Dragons got buffed. Rift Herald, second Rift Herald specifically got buffed. We're going to have a lot more fighting around these two objectives. I think people may even just give up first Herald, maybe? I doubt it. Actually, no, probably not. I don't remember if it was both Heralds that got local gold or just the first one. But they're trying to encourage team fighting earlier on because, there were too many games that just nothing was happening in. Make sure you watch the LEC on Friday because you'll probably get a better idea of how these team fights are going to go, which is tomorrow, by the way, as of when this episode comes out. So I am very much of the opinion that there's going to be a lot of team fighting, that I would be focusing top if I were them. Now, what I think TSM can do to counter that, what we can do to counter that is I think you just throw solo on Ornn, okay? I'm serious. I just freaking Ornn duty. Like, first pick it even. I don't really care, but make sure that he's able to play something that's super scaling no matter what, that's pretty hard to gank without having a death on it. It does well in lane. It can basically go against anything, whether it's a gangplank, a Gnar. It has great team fight impact. I personally would pick Ornn here. And then I would actually I would actually focus on the bot lane. I think that TSM should put their eggs into the instinct basket and try to shut down Danny. I think that you can at least keep mid even-ish, and hopefully Maple can keep Jojopian a little too occupied to be able to do anything, and you kind of just sack top. You just accept that whatever impact is going to play, like you hope the gangplank doesn't become too much of an impact. I think that's what they probably would play. And you hope that Inspired, whatever he plays, doesn't get too fed either. And you just try to shut down Danny, because Danny's going to probably play something scaling, and putting him behind early, trying to limit that and focus on getting Drakes in order to scale. I believe that's the case. And if I'm TSM, I would give the first Herald. Like, I'd fight around it a little bit with Solo and with Maple to try to, just keep them occupied, not really go in enough to where you're going to die or anything. Hopefully you don't have to waste a flash on it, but just to keep them occupied long enough for a dive bot lane and allow you to, have Spica maybe even solo Drake while pushing in the tower. Like, I really think that's the strategy I would do. I mean, just get Instinct ahead really early and try to just take out the tower as early as possible so that you have control of the bot lane for most of the game. At that point, I think you could potentially fight for second Herald, because I know that one for sure offers local gold, and you could sacrifice maybe a Drake for that, and making these exchanges, right? Yes, sacking top lane is going to suck, but I think, man, I'm kind of on one today. I'm like kind of like formulating this play in my mind that I think it really would work. It would take a lot of effort from TSM, but I don't really care about first Herald that much. Like, they're either going to use it top lane or mid. Most likely they would just use a top lane and get that tower. I think you just accept that. You're not going to out team fight Evil Geniuses unless if you have a much better team at that 10-minute mark. The way TSM have been playing, and what I mean is by team comp, I should say, not team, but team comp. I just don't think that's going to happen. Instead, get one of your win cons, your AD carry, as far ahead as you possibly can. And I think the best way to do that is get as many plates, solo gold even plates down there. Don't bring him up. I don't care. Like, if the rest of if the rest of Evil Geniuses rotate up, which if I'm TSM, by the way, I would anticipate that, and I don't know why more teams will do this, but like, I would just sack, I would give up the Herald. Like, what I would do, honestly, is I'm reformulating this. I would have Solo and Spica be there. I would have mid lane backing and then going straight to bot lane instead, so that then they can intercept whoever is in, coming up, potentially. I would guess Vulcan. Try to get a kill and then try to get the bot lane tower. That's what I would do. Again, then that would allow you to play for Drakes. I know that they wait to take Drakes to try to get, Soul to a certain timing and everything, but That's what I would do. You got to do something weird. You got to do something different in order to take down evil geniuses. That's just how it is. And I think if you do exactly what they would expect you to do, which is, try to play through top lane or, try to fight them at Herald, they're just going to beat you in the normal game state. Plain and simple. I'm predicting a loss here. I don't think anybody's surprised by that. There's a 1 or 2% chance that we win this game in my mind. There's there's one way, Doctor Strange kind of thing, to win this. And I think you got to be a little bit unpredictable, and you've got to try to do, like, they're going to probably try to play a pretty standard game because they're a lot better than us, and they know it. So why take any major risks if I'm evil geniuses? So I think for TSM, you got to try to catch them doing the normal things. Rotating up to Drake, again, focusing, understanding that they're going to probably focus on top lane. Like, these are the things that I would do to try to throw that off. And, you can pull out a win against this team if you put Danny far enough behind, you get dragon stacking early. You just don't really care about what happens to Solo because, to be frank, like, he's been around long enough. He understands the game long enough to know how to play weak side well. So that is my big-brained, I guess, strategy. Small-brained, more likely, But that's what I would do. All right, heading into our second game. Now, this is the big one. This is, and I cannot state this enough, this is the most important game of the split here. This is going to determine whether or not I'm going to lose my mind a second time because of Dignitas. Whether or not I'm going to continue to maul over the top lane situation. I promised you that I wouldn't mention his name again in terms of this. So, here is my honest opinion here of this. This is a game we have to win. Plain and simple. I do not care what anyone has to say about it. I mean, if you lose this game, then what was the point of the change that you made? If you lose this game, you are in a pretty bad spot. If you win this game, with Golden Guardians making the weird freaking decision to move a Blaze Olive out for leader, I really just don't understand that one at all, by the way. TSM have a very good path to being 7th now, which is unbelievable. So shocking. I really figured that we were going to finish like 9th and miss playoffs. Again, I'm happy about us winning. I'm happy that we would make playoffs. I think whoever we play, it won't really matter. We might win one game, depending on certain teams, but I think we probably are more likely to get 3-0'd by whoever we play. Sorry, I think that's the reality. Immortals are a game behind us. We are now tied with Golden Guardians at 1-1 for the split, and they seemingly are just sacking whatever chance they have. I don't think leader is going to be that much of a difference on this team, if any. I think he actually will probably hurt this team because now you've replaced your jungler and your mid laner, and your jungler was practicing with the other mid laner for a week, and now he's having to practice with another mid laner and in another week. Just Golden Guardians are. I actually think we are for sure better than them now. Like, I really do think leader's that much of a drop off compared to a Blaze Olive. And some people will disagree with me. That's fine. Clearly, I might be wrong because Golden Guardians are making that change. But regardless, we're in a prime. That win over Golden Guardians put us into a perfect position to where we could pretty much just win this Dignitas game and not worry about the rest of it. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Like, at that point, we'll have a 2-game lead over Immortals. I don't remember when they play Dignitas. Okay, by then we'll probably have a 1-game lead over over Immortals because they play Dignitas on Saturday, and then they play Golden Guardians. Actually, not a great week for Golden Guardians to be playing Immortals. Well, I guess I mean, this makes it even more imperative. We have to win this game. Period. We have to win this game, and if we can find, basically, if we win this game and one other game, then we're in playoffs. That's pretty much guaranteed at this point. Again, this team has decided that that's their goal, so that's what we're going to be trying to figure out. They have replaced these teams with Hoon and XU. XU, a little bit younger, a little less experienced. I think he's very exploitable. His top champions, Lee Sin, Graves, Viego, Nidalee, Hecarim, and Olaf. Now, I think Olaf is in the meta. Hecarim might be in the meta. I don't really know. I've seen a couple people use him. He hasn't looked too good to me. Viego's in and out of the meta. Graves and Nidalee aren't really in the meta at all. And Lee Sin can, I think, be kind of used at any point in time. For Hoon, Gnar, Jace, Camille, Renekton, Akali, Ornn, whatever, like a little bit of Gwen, I guess. I don't really think that he is going to. I don't think he's going to be much of an issue. To be honest with you, I really think that you focus ban XU. I think you ban the Lee Sin. I think you ban the Viego, and I think you ban the Hecarim, and then I think you take Olaf. Round 1. That's what I would do. I think Spica would be really good on it. Or if he's more comfortable on Viego or Lee Sin, then you replace the Olaf ban with one of those. And I think you just try to make him as useless as possible, personally. That's my strategy against them because, again, we go lane by lane here. I think Maple's better than Blue, although Blue has his days occasionally, so maybe you just ban the Azir too to just... Actually, you definitely ban the Azir. Now that I think about it, you definitely ban the Azir. So Azir and then 2 junglers, and then maybe take the other one. And then for the bot lane, Spawn doesn't really bother me. Our boy BioDaddy is great, but I don't think that he's going to be able to impact the map that much. I think you kind of leave bot lane to its own. I think you get counter pick for mid lane, and I think you get counter pick for top lane, and I think you first pick or try to first pick jungle. That's how I would go about it. And I think TSM, as long as they don't throw at Rift specifically, I think that... Oh, I was trying not to sneeze there. I think that 7-minute or that 10-minute mark, or 10 to 12-minute mark, whenever these teams start to try to fight over the Rift Herald, I believe that that's going to be the game changer right there. Whatever they decide to do is going to, I think, greatly affect how that game is going to go. And if I'm TSM, I think you fight at this one. I really do. I think you make sure that you have push in both lanes, and I think you get bot lane up there early. I'm okay to sack whatever's going on with Instinct if that means that we can get that first Herald, that local gold. Again, I'm pretty sure it's local gold for everybody. And then I would use it mid lane, try to get Maple as far ahead and put Blue behind. And I'm not worried at all about Hoon or XU. I'm just not. I think TSM should win this game. I am predicting them to win this game. I will be very, very sad and upset if they lose this game somehow. It just would be such a kick to the nether regions for this team, for this organization to have made that decision. Because I guess I'll talk about it now. With the decision to move Soul, which is good, it's just fine with me. I've come to terms with it. Losing this game and likely missing out on playoffs because of it, unless if you can find a miracle win over, I believe it's CLG, C9, or Team Liquid? No, not Team Liquid. CLG, C9, or FlyQuest. FlyQuest is the other one. So unless if you can find a kind of miracle, maybe random win there, I mean it just like what Kobe's saying about them spending and everything. It doesn't surprise me. It feels like they feel like the fan base is not going to be patient with them, and maybe that's why they did this Soul move. I don't know. I'm really confused still about what the plan is. Like, are you going to replace Instinct? I mean, I'm going to guess so at this point. Are you going to replace Chime? I think not. I actually think of all the players on the team, I think Chime might be the most safe. for his spot for next year. Having an NA support that's actually pretty solid. At least in my opinion, he's looked pretty good. Again, I think he is almost not solo, but I think he has been a major driver in the 2 wins that we've had since he's been here. I just, it's hard for me to believe that if this team is going to spend money, that this Dignitas game is not going to be a major driver. They're making decisions that are based on short term right now. Like, it is very clear to me that they want to win now, and they want to get the fan base excited now. I don't see how making playoffs and then losing outright is going to do that. I know there will be plenty of hopium and copium on the teams, or on the team subreddit, on the TSM subreddit. I'm sure that people are going to be like, oh, yeah, wow, we made playoffs. Oh, this team's looking so much better. Oh, they're going to go in, and I think they're going to win, regardless of who they play. And I will tell you that that's probably false. I would say almost extremely false. Like, we would have to hope for a TL or CLG, and in that way, it's still not great. I mean, I just don't see us winning a best of 5 against those teams, but I mean, to each their own, I guess. I am a little saddened that TSM would rather throw money at the problem, which is yet to work, by the way, than try to build up talent, make them better, put a team around Spica that is growing but has a ton of potential. And not to not have a veteran piece here or there somewhere, but I just, like, there's some players out there who I would be okay with. Like, I would be okay with of a team of Soul, Spica, VTO, Instinct, and Chime. I'd be okay with that. I would be okay of a team of Soul, Spica, Humanoid, Instinct, and Chime. I am very worried that the team will consist of brand new top laner, even though they literally just stated, oh, we're committed to Soul and we're really, going to, get him prepped to be the best player that he can be. Don't know how you do that by having him sit on Academy for another year. So I would have to hope that they're still committing to him. But if they're going to spend money, then maybe that's not the case. I don't know. You need an NA top laner, though. So with Huni gone, and I don't think a lot of NA options that'll be available, there's a chance Tenacity or / Someday is available. I would be very honestly disappointed if this team went out and got Someday. I just don't. I think he's on the downturn. I know he's been playing pretty well this split and last split, really. So maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe I'm just maybe my GM skills are just very much skewed towards building up a team and growing it, and TSM just maybe aren't going to do it that way. But we've seen how Evil Geniuses have done it. I think you copy that method. So, I think you keep a young jungler like Spica, and then I think you put a veteran at one of the solo lanes. For me, I would do it in the mid lane. Then that allows you to have a younger top laner, other lane like Jojo Pyun in the mid lane. Then you have a younger player like Instinct who has the ability to pop off. He's shown it. He's actually been much better than I thought he was going to be. And you pair him with an NA support, Chime. Like, we would be budget Evil Geniuses, as bad as that would sound. I think the difference would be if we had VTO or Humanoid. I really do think the team would be better there. So if they're going to spend, I hope they do it on something like that. If they're really certain that Spica is going to be gone, then I just say blow the whole thing up, and just maybe they spend in the jungle in the mid lane. I would be very disappointed if we kept Maple when he hasn't been performing very well, when it doesn't seem like his and Spica's synergy matter that much in any of these games, to be honest with you. I don't know. I'm talking really fast today. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I've been awake for a lot longer when recording this. But I'm worried. I'm worried that the plan is going to be to throw money at it, and then it's not going to work again, and then TSM is going to continuously get frustrated to the point of where maybe they do decide to leave the LCS because they keep throwing money at it and it's not working. One thing I know about Dominic, and he said it in my interview with me, he's shrewd when it comes to business. He wants the team to win. If they are not winning and they do not find the success that they are looking for in certain esports, then they are willing to leave them. If TSM were to leave the LCS, that would be such a bad thing for the LCS. So, yes, we do need TSM to be good, for sure, but we also need them to be responsible with the way they spend money and we want them to build something that's going to last. I don't want to see every split us completely having to readjust our team and question every move that is made. I mean, the only player on this team that has played since day one is Spica. That is it. Huni is gone from the top lane, obviously. We've had Takeover, who's actually looking pretty good, by the way. We've had, Takeover and Kaido in the mid lane before we went to Maple. Obviously, we've had, Tactical, and now in the Instinct. We've had freaking Yurson, Shenyi, and now Chime. Like, rebuilds and building dynasties take time. And this org seemingly has no patience to do that. And that is very frustrating to me. And it's kind of like the insanity thing, right? Where if you continue to do the same thing and it doesn't work, then that's the definition of insanity. I'm not going to say that this new group is insane, but they should be learning from the past. They should be learning that buying Sven and Mithy didn't work. They should learn that, throwing money at players from the East apparently just, they weren't ready. It didn't work. If I'm them, they need to look and see what's working right now. And there are a few top teams that have NA talent. Evil Geniuses has NA talent. I know Hunter Thieves doesn't, but they have a well-established talent with, Someday. They obviously brought Closer from Europe. That worked a little bit easier because he already knew English. Abadage, Europe, same thing, right? Like FBI, from somewhere else who he's from Australia, who he's been here forever. Team doesn't really have NA talent, but whatever. CLG is all NA except for Luger, I believe, right? All NA except for Luger. They're 8-5 right now. Team Liquid is non-NA, and it's not really working for them, sadly. Cloud9, Blabber has been the catalyst for that team. If I'm TSM, I'm looking at Cloud9 as a prime example, personally. If you're going to get young talent, I think Korea, Europe makes sense there for me. And then FlyQuest has, Johnson, Alframu, and Philip, all from NA. So you've got 1, 2, 3.5-ish teams of the 5 that have strong NA talent. That's what wins you games. That's what helps you to go to the next level. And I know people are like, well, they're going to get rid of the import rule. That's just stupid to me. It's just dumb. It's just really, 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 really dumb. Like, if you want people to watch the LCS, if you want people to care about League of Legends competitively in North America, which is your home country, Riot Games, as a reminder, then you need to encourage NA growing, and that takes time, and I guess people just aren't willing to be patient. So we'll see. I'm trying not to be too jaded here. I'm trying not to be, overly pessimistic. I just want TSM to see that, committing to NA talent works. Right now, everybody on our team except for Maple is from NA. I think they're willing to do it. They just need to continue to play it out and let us see what happens. So we will see. I'm hopeful that this news of Kobe saying that they won't go budget again. I don't think this last team was budget, to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know what budget really means because we don't know how much people are spending. I can't imagine that if spending $1 million to bring 2 players over from China and spending, whatever it was, like almost $3 million to bring over Sword Art is budget. I just don't see that as budget. But I guess technically it is right now. So I'll be fine to see them spend, but I want to see them spend in the right places. Spend money on Spica, spend money on a new mid laner, commit to the others, getting better. If Soul's really just not there, which he hasn't looked great back in Academy, he had like 2 good games, and then otherwise it's been kind of rough for him. I think he's working on a lot of things, and I'm sure he's kind of demoralized from having to go down there. I really wish it's kind of clear now that Hooney's not with him. I really wish that they would have made Hooney continue to coach him down on Academy, and maybe he is, but he's still up with the LCS team. Again, it's kind of hard to split time between the two. So I don't know. Now I'm rambling. I apologize. I really am confused by TSM's plans here, and I just wish we had a better an idea. I reached out to TSM to try to get Dominic back on to kind of explain how things are going. I have not heard back yet, so maybe that'll happen here in the next couple weeks, but we'll just have to see. So let's just continue to stand by. I know maybe I'm in the minority on my thought process. Let me know. What do you guys want them to do? Do you want them to commit to young NA talent, or do you want them to kind of try to go the TL/100 Thieves route, where their NA talent is not really from NA, it's just green carded people? I don't know. I'm leaning NA because I think the best team in the LCS is pretty clearly Evil Geniuses. I don't think any of the other teams are all that close. And I think the majority of the reason is because they have Vulcan, who is a well-established NA support, and they have Jojo Pune and Danny, who are the 2 best NA players at their role. Not ever, obviously, because of Double Lift, but they're up there. Danny's already up there, I think. I think he's well on his way. So, and not well on his way to being better than Double Lift, but well on his way to being probably number 2. I'd have to really check, but I think that would be pretty fair. So we'll have to see, guys. We'll have to see. Just, again, let me know. I want to know your guys' thoughts, because it will maybe help me to come to a better conclusion on what I feel and why I might be wrong, or maybe I'm in the right on this one. So we will have to see. Also, thank you to those of you who've been playing in the Talking TSM LCS Fantasy, LCS Fantasy. It's been a good year. I like the Dynasty format. I think while we are going to be redrafting for the Talking TSM League, I do think there may be some more on the horizon for Fantasy LCS and LEC here at the Game House. So keep an eye open. If you like this show, please take a second to like, subscribe, and comment on any of the things that I brought up to you during the podcast. Especially if you're on the YouTube channel, hit that bell icon so you don't miss any more episodes of Frame by Frame, Hot Takes, Talking TSM, and again, Germ's been doing a lot of different builds, patch breakdowns, everything like that. If you're looking for something fun to maybe try out in a Norms game, or maybe you get good enough at it to play it in ranked, I would give him a look. He's coming up with some cool things, very interesting things. I want to continue to make this the number 1 TSM podcast on all podcasting platforms. Thank you for those who listen instead of watch on YouTube. I know there's a good majority of you, and I hope that your ride to work today has been fantastic, or maybe your ride home, whatever it may be. Please share this with your friends. You can hit me up on Twitter at TGHRobertHaynes. You can also hit up the Game House at TGH Esports. Then head on over to the Game House and check out all of our different content on the LCS. I just had my power rankings drop today. See where I have TSM. I think you might be a little bit surprised. Maybe not entirely, but at least a little bit. With that, thanks for tuning in. The show comes out every Monday and Thursday, and this is exclusively for your TSM ear holes. I'm Robert Haynes, and this has been Talking TSM. I'll see you all on Monday.